Developing today, a hilarious row between Sly News and one of its woke breed of political reporters who has no idea about real life in the United Kingdom, and Reform UK leader Nigel Farage, who owned them at a press conference in regards to rising crime in lawless London. So I'm going to take you through this fascinating story, but first watch the tone-deaf exchange between Sly News Breakfast political correspondent Myri Aurora and Mr. Farage. If you're enjoying what we're doing here on Outspoken, please consider joining our thriving community over on Substack, www.outspoken.live. You can sign up completely for free, but Substack is so important to me. It is a free speech platform. It protects me from big tech cancellation. Plus, you get to communicate directly with me. Head on over www.outspoken.live, enter your email address, and sign up today.
This Project Fear, are you trying to make people afraid and trying to steer them into fear, and therefore that is the way you will get them to vote for you?
No, they are afraid. They are afraid. I dare you to walk through the West End of London after 9 o'clock of an evening wearing jewellery. You wouldn't do it. You know that I'm right. You wouldn't do it. And that's just in London, let alone what's happening in so many other parts of the country. And the genuine fears that mothers have, particularly for teenage kids, we have to recognise something. There are some people who come from certain cultures that pose a danger to our society. It's as simple as that.
Now, you saw what Myri Aurora was trying to do here. It's something lots of people on the left are trying to do. They want to make us feel as if we are somehow being racist or politically incorrect by revealing our lived experience, as the woke left like to say, our lived experience, that we are no longer safe on our own streets, that our daughters are no longer safe on our own streets. I speak from personal experience, right? Like, I've been mugged twice in lawless London. So this is not some type of far-right invention. But Myri Aurora tried to put that message across by writing this piece for the Sly News website, headlined, "Nigel Farage dared me to walk in London after 9 p.m. But as the Guido Fawkes blog reported, she's having to really eat some humble pie, with Sky not coming out looking rosy. So after Aurora accused Farage of Project Fear over rising crime, he responded at the conference and she posted this analysis piece. But it was a major self-own because Myri Aurora admitted, "I am not afraid to walk in the West End of London after 9 p.m. wearing jewellery. I have done it many times before and will continue to do so. But perhaps that is because I do not own a Rolex. Snatch theft, however, does worry me. Hence why I now have a phone case with a strap attached to it that I can put around my body." And she goes on, "And I worry about knife crime in my area and what the impact could be if I were to have children. On the weekend, someone was stabbed to death a stone's throw away from my house. However, if we look at the statistics, it is invariably a more nuanced picture than Farage or social media might have us believe." Now, Farage wasn't taking that lying down. Responding on X, the same journalist who accused me of stoking fear over crime also admits to wearing a phone strap because they are afraid of snatch theft. Go figure. Aurora responded on X, "I never accused you of anything. I merely asked you a question about your strategy. A question is not an accusation. I also asked you a question about your plans for mental health support in prisons, and that was not an accusation either. And yes, as I said in my piece, I wear a phone strap because of snatch theft, and I worry about knife crime as someone was stabbed to death on the weekend up the road from where I live." How stupid are these people, Father Calvin Robinson? Like, she's accusing Farage at this press conference of creating some type of invisible fear about a crime wave that doesn't exist, when she writes her analysis piece, which she thinks is some type of own of Farage. She admits that actually she's goddamn terrified too. So this is completely intellectually dishonest journalism coming from Sly News.
That's it, 100%. These people are dishonest. When she says, "Oh, I didn't accuse you, I just asked a question." Yes, in the question, she implied that he is trying to make people fearful in order to get their vote, when quite clearly people are already fearful, including herself, for goodness sake. They're stupid as well as dishonest. Just own up and say, yeah, London is a mess and we need someone to sort it out. How do you propose to sort it out? Rather, no, you're going to make people afraid. People are already afraid. People are already getting their jewelry in their bags and their phones snatched left, right, and centre. Someone needs to address it. I think, I'm obviously not Nigel Farage's biggest fan, but I think he was absolutely in the right in that. And that Sly News journalist was dishonest, stupid, and wrong.
And Dave Atherton, we're seeing this from lots of people on the left who are trying to say, oh, it's the right. The right are trying to stoke this fear, and actually, the UK is great, and just look at the statistics, like Fraser Nelson the other day. Oh, just look at the statistics. Well, why then, Fraser Nelson, is there this mind the grab line now painted on Oxford Street, which, as Ross Kempsell of Guido Fawkes says, this is completely wrong-headed and represents capitulation of the urban environment to criminality? And if the Sly News journalist wasn't scared, then why is she writing about the fact that she had someone stabbed just up the road from where she lived the other day? I mean, indeed. This is not a creation, Dave. We are scared, and we are scared for very good reason, because there is an invasion of our country, and it means our streets are no longer safe. But first, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now, one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. They hardly make a dent on your appearance. Some can even be harmful to your skin, he said. Now, recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices so he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. He describes it as being almost like Photoshop for your face, and says you may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view. His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the Age Rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. So in light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public. It is free, it is uninterrupted, and he will outline exactly how to use this simple solution from home. And he said if it helps even one person look younger or feel more confident, he will actually be thrilled knowing that he helped. The video's gone viral, as you'd expect. It started on Facebook, over 2.3 million views now. The comments and feedback have been outstanding too. Thousands of women report they look decades younger. One commented that it was the best result of anything they've used. They said, I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you. So you can find out more about this yourself right now. Go to bhmd1.com/outspoken, or if it's easier for you, you can just click on the link in the description box below this video. That's bhmd1.com/outspoken. There is one thing Dr. Lake asks from his viewers, though. He says, if watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together, we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video at bhmd1.com/outspoken right now, or just click on the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show.
Absolutely. Well, I lived in East London for 30 years, Leytonstone and Hackney. And I've survived and fought off three attempted muggings. 2 were at knife point. And December 2003, I was set upon by 5 South Asians, probably Bangladeshis, for simply for being white. It is the sheer hypocrisy, the complete denial of the fact that Britain now resembles a third world cesspit. And everyone now it has the reason something I think knife crime is now up 63% under Sadiq in the last year. The police and the courts do not do a good job in sentencing these people and making sure these people are brought to trial. I would suggest to you some of Mari's animus towards Nigel Farage was personal, his policies and his Reform Party. It was basically political bias in the way she was trying to score points against him. I think she, typical Sly News, typical sort of graduate of some red brick or Russell Group University who's been brainwashed by her lecturers and her professors. absolutely clueless. And when people, point out honest facts, empirical evidence, empirical research that certain demographics are involved in crime in this country, I'm sorry, it's all too much for them. No, I live in a relatively wealthy area of London, and but even I'm now seeing hijabs and burqas and things like that, even in the streets that I live on. And I remarked this lady who also lived in the same area as me, and she was shocked that I found it a worry, and we don't want these people living here. No, she looked at me aghast. So she's obviously rich enough to not have to worry about it. When you spend most of your former life living in East London, and let me quickly say, the vast majority of people who do live in East London of all races are genuinely nice people. But you always decent and nice, but there's always this sort of significant minority that ruin the whole neighbourhood for everybody. And as I say, and when on that Christmas Eve I was set upon, I was absolutely terrified. I couldn't fight back. I was lucky that my mate had come back from the shop with a packet of cigarettes, and also there was a passerby who intervened as well. But crikey, I remember being punched 3 times to the ground and getting a good shoeing at the same time. All I can say is lucky I played football and rugby for 40 years, both as a child and as an adult. That probably saved me because I'm used to getting a good shoeing sometimes from playing sport. And there's nothing that Khan or the government want to do about it. Now, if you carry a knife, it should be an automatic, no arguing, 3-year sentence. And if you use it with intent, it should be a 10-year sentence. Now, we've got to build more prisons, so be it. I'm sorry, I've had enough. This has to change, or we're all going to pay the price for it.
Well, of course, it's the Rudy Giuliani strategy, isn't it? The broken window strategy. We have to have a zero tolerance approach, but we're not. Yeah. Our major cities, and by the way, this is not just London. The same thing applies to Liverpool. The same thing applies to Birmingham. The same thing applies to Manchester. Indeed, the same thing even applies to Glasgow, is a sort of acceptance of anti-social behaviour. And as a result, we no longer feel safe. This is not something that is imagined. It is not something that is made up. And the thing that I find so disgusting, Father Calvin, from the people like Aurora at Sly News, like Kay Burley, like Susanna Reid, is, do you not feel that you're not worried about your own children? I mean, how can you look at what's happening and try and pretend that everything is okay?
I know, it's sad. I used to work at an inner city school in the heart of London, not far from Marylebone High Street. Lovely place. Again, another wealthy part of London that you wouldn't expect too much crime to be happening. We had to warn the young children not to walk down the high street on their own because the mopeds were so common, driving up and down the street, snatching their cell phones off them, their mobile phones off them. It got to a point where we had to tell the kids they couldn't do it themselves. And so we're recognizing the problems, but we're not actually doing any solution. I'd love a mayor of London that would just get the Metropolitan Police, get the commissioners, get them all together and say, look, I don't want a single arrest in the city for a tweet or a Facebook post. I want to see every single moped. We know the people. We know where they're driving. Every single moped driver that's driving around London snatching phones, all of them arrested. Give them harsh sentences. I want to see these Pakistani Muslims that are raping young girls. I want to see them in jail forever. I want harsh criminality to be... I want to see justice. And I don't want to see any more censoring of speech. I want to see crime being solved. That's what I want.
But we know we don't have justice because we know that there are huge swaths of the police that are put on the most ridiculous types of crime solving, which actually are things that could be ignored. The things that should never be ignored are violent crime, are sexual assault, are burglaries, are drug deals, but they're all the things that are pushed to the side. By the way, Adam Cherry of Guido Fawkes has made a good point about this mind the grab thing, which is now up and down the main streets of London, because he says, ignoring the total surrender to the criminals, this also fails on its own terms because the thieves don't have the same honour code where they respect the pavements. They ride all over them and swipe 10 phones in about 2 minutes. So standing back from the curb does nothing. And it's actually completely true. Dave, because the two times when I have been mugged in Sadiq Khan's Lawless London, it was nothing violent, by the way, but it's a total invasion because you're just walking down the street, holding your phone. I was in the middle of the pavement, and what these gangs of hood rats do is they come out on either side of you, and it's all about being very, very quick, very, very swift, and you have no chance to fight back or even know what's going on. And I find it so shocking actually now that I feel a great sense of relief when I'm in another country, because I'm like, oh my goodness, I can get my phone out. I can look at my map. I can check my text messages. And that's even in parts of America, which would in theory be considered dangerous.
Absolutely, yeah. I went to Poland 3 years ago, and I went to Warsaw and Krakow when I saw the Auschwitz concentration camp. And the feeling of getting off the bus, getting off public transport, not having to look over your shoulder, not having to look around, not having to read people's body language. You could leave your phone on the table, to go to the toilet, or pay the bill or whatever you have to do. The feeling of that sense of peace, that sense of contentment, you don't have in London, you don't have in Britain anymore. This is the world we should be living in, but unfortunately, we're living in a third world. Well, let's say the word shithole, and I hate every single minute of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's devastating. It's devastating, but it's true. And if we keep denying the reality, then actually, I think we're only doing a disservice to ourselves. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.